And I would like to welcome everybody that's with us tonight. I have a lot of respect for each and every one of you. Of course, your leaders. If you were not leaders, you would not be here, like I always say. So you need to give yourself a hand of applause for just committing to developing yourselves and being better versions of yourself. So today we are going to talk about the indelible reality of dreams. Dreams make us limitless. Dreams can take us to places that we would never have gotten to if we did not have the dream. That is why it is very important for us to have dreams. When we start this chapter, one of the first quotes we share is a quote by the great Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motors. If anybody knows those cars, he was a great American innovator, and this is what he said. He said, "A poor man is not the one without a cent. A poor man is the one without a dream." The great Henry Ford said, "A poor man is not the one without a cent. A poor man is the one without a dream." As we talk about this, you will understand exactly what he meant by that. When you look at my story, as you read the book, we are now in chapter 7. Mid-20s, I started the cyber cafe. One day I'm at the cyber cafe and a friend of mine calls from Italy. In Douala, she's in Italy. I have the internet. I was beginning to connect with my friends abroad. So Irene calls. She was like a sister to me. We were very close. So she calls and we are talking. While I was growing up, I had this passion for travel because I used to read a lot. I read books a lot. And in my heart, I always felt that I was going to travel. It was a dream I had. All these places that I had read about in books, I wanted to travel and visit them and discover the world. So that was a dream that was so inbred in me as a young girl growing up in Bamenda, Douala, all those places that my dad worked at. You see, the dream was there. Once you have a dream, you don't even know how God will ignite it and make it a reality. But the dream has to be there. So when Irene called one day, we were just talking. Here we are in our mid-20s. We're talking, and then she's telling me about Italy, and then she's like, "Why don't you come and visit?" And I'm like, "You know what? Yeah, I can come visit." Send an invitation letter. She sends an invitation letter. So that was in the late 1990s. If you know anything about travel from Cameroon in those days, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to walk into an embassy and get a Schengen visa. But she did send me the invitation, and I was excited. There was no blockage. I had no doubts. I didn't go seeking for permission or for people's validation or their opinions. I just knew that she was going to send me an invitation letter, and I was going to go to the Italian embassy for a visa, to apply for a visa. So the invitation letter came. I went to the embassy. It was a long process. I had a business. My business was doing pretty good. The assets were there to show, but then here I am, I'm young, so they were wondering, am I going to come back or will I just travel and not come back? There were lots of steps that I had to take. Many people had to write affidavits, to the embassy, but guess what? To cut a long story short, I got the Schengen visa. It was a 6 months visa, and I could travel all over Europe. And that was a dream that came true. I always looked at myself as a world traveler. And even if you go to most of my accounts, like my Twitter account, I start by introducing myself as a world traveler. It is a dream. And because I had that dream, I was able to travel, and that's how my travel started around the world, and I ended up in the United States. The indelible reality of dreams. When you dream, it opens up doors that nothing else can open, and this is why. There are 2 reasons why we should dream. The first one is that your dreams bring a sense of excitement into your life. They bring a sense of excitement. Just look at how you felt when you were telling us, how we felt when you shared that dream of being a stone cold millionaire, in the next decade. That is exciting. One of our leaders, I read her last one, she said she wants to write books. You see, so it brings a sense of excitement. There's something for you to look forward to. There's something that motivates you. But let me give you a reality that is very, it's a reality. Do you know that most people do not have dreams? When I started coaching and being out in the field, working with leaders, I used to ask people, what is your dream? And they did not have dreams. So when you ask the question about expectations, if there is any leader in this forum today that could not come up with something, that's because they haven't had the time to identify a dream. If you are that person that does not have a dream, something that you are looking forward to, working towards, you need to start thinking about it right now. And you need to find a way to write it down, because that's what will take you to where you need to be. Let this session inspire you to actually think about your dream and actually write it down. Most people do not have dreams for simple reasons. Life happens. When you're growing up, you're excited, you want to go to university, you come out, you find a job, and then all of a sudden life takes over. So you just start drifting through life. It just becomes about survival. It becomes about the day-to-day stuff. So most people actually at that point, they stop dreaming. That's just the truth. They are involved in just their day-to-day life, and they just see themselves retiring one day. Most people do not take the time to even dream or ask themselves what their dreams are because of that. The other reason is that many people get distracted. So you have all of this stuff coming at you. What do I handle? Do I handle the kids? Do I handle the job? Do I handle community events? So you're doing all of those stuff and you don't have time to sit down and ask yourself, where am I going? What is my dream? Where would I want to be? So take the time and actually, find out what your dream is, write it down, and then create a vision out of it. Because there's a difference between somebody that just dreams. Like you just dream, I want to be this. So how is it going to happen? What is your vision? Do you see yourself talking to rooms full of thousands of people? Do you see yourself impacting lives, traveling to those local areas, talking to girls and children, supporting single mothers, helping them start up businesses? What is your vision that is based on that dream? This chapter talks about develop a solid vision out of your dreams. You see, the dream is the base. You have the dream, this is where I want to be, and this is the vision of where I see myself through this dream. Number one, we need to dream because it brings a sense of excitement, a sense of motivation into our lives. If you've ever met people that do not have a dream, I've met a lot of people, they can be very, very sad to be around. They feel beaten down by life. They feel like their life does not have any purpose. They are just drifting through life. None of us should be those people. We need to have a purpose for where we are going even next year as we finish strong and move into the next year. Number one, that's why we need to dream big. Number two, this is the big one. Dreams create a spiritual destiny imprint in your heart. When you have a dream, it creates an imprint in your heart between you and your God, between you and the universe. We know that most of life there is physical and there is spiritual, right? I don't know how many of us are Christians, but if you pray, that's the spiritual. If you meditate, that's the spiritual. If you like to spend a lot of quiet times. If you like to think, that's the spiritual and mental realm. There is a very popular belief that before something happens in the physical, it has to happen spiritually, internally, in your mind, in your spirit. What dreams do is that they create that imprint of what your destiny is going to be. So when you dream, you're actually telling yourself where you want to go. It's like a blueprint. This is the blueprint. This is where I'm going. And once you're able to do that, it rolls on from there. Sometimes you'll not even know how it happens, but you've handed it into a deep realm and it's unfolding. I would like to talk to you today about the story of Steve Jobs. I'm sure most of us here have heard of Steve Jobs. He is one of the founders of Apple. Most of us here use iPhones. We know people that use iPhones. So Steve Jobs was one of the founders of Apple. Apple was founded in the year 1977. So that was around the time, I was born. And the vision when Jobs and his co-founder Wozniak founded Apple, their vision was to put a computer in the hands of everyday people. Write down this vision and see how it happened. So Jobs had a dream. Through his company, he had a vision from that dream because he was a tech guy. And his vision was to put a computer in the hands of everyday people. When you read the book, this book shares inspiration from many great people. And one of the people whose inspiration we share is the founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates. The vision of Bill Gates and Microsoft was to put a computer in every home across the world. Jobs was to put a computer in everyday people's hands, right? So he built his company over the years and created all these collaborations, put together this incredible team. And in 2007, the iPhone was introduced into the market. So if you can see between 1977 to 2007, you see how long it was. But the iPhone was introduced into the market. The iPhone totally changed the face of communication. Why? Because for the first time, a phone had the capabilities of a computer. Prior to that, if you had to look for navigation systems, you had to go on the computer, MapQuest, print it out, travel. But now on the iPhone, you could just put in an address and it would take you there. The computer, you could work on your documents, email them. Now on the iPhone, you could create those same documents and email them. So, his vision was coming to pass, to put a computer in the hands of everyday people. The first iPhone, that was great, and they just kept on innovating. By the second iPhone, it had now the capabilities of doing FaceTime. This company kept on growing from a vision that this guy had when he created his company in 1977. The indelible reality of a dream. And he totally changed mankind. He has changed how we communicate, how we do business, how we relate to each other. Because of that, social media exploded. He has brought the world together. That's when Android and others came in and joined the playing field. The indelible reality of a dream. And this is what Steve Jobs said. This is what he tells us. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. This is what Jobs says. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. How do they know? because of the imprint of your dreams. That's what directs your intuition and your heart when your dreams are imprinted in your heart. That's the indelible reality of a dream. So I hope that each and every one of us wakes up to see the power of a dream. Sometimes we dismiss dreams. You know, somebody will be like, oh yeah, well. Other times, we don't even have dreams. So let's take the time to craft our dreams, meditate on them, pray about them, create visions out of them, so that they can actually guide us towards destiny, purpose, greatness.